Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from the Risk Scorecard Network. This short YouTube describes something that we've observed as we take a look at the top-level risk scorecards that we create. What we're concerned about is making sure that leadership has the right view of the risks they need to see across the corporation. And we found that the best risks fit into three categories. First off, the obvious ones. We need to make sure that we capture what I'm going to describe as being the elephants. They're the risks which have earned the highest strategic risk score. That is what we get from multiplying the impact times the weighting of each objective summed up and times the likelihood. So these are effectively the risks in the top right hand corner of the scatter diagram, those which are most likely with the highest impact. And that number will vary depending on the risk environment you're currently living on and the risk tolerance level established by the leadership team. Secondly, what we call the comets. These are the fastest rising risks, risks that have the potential to become an elephant in the near future, but they're moving quickly. And those risks you want to know about in case you need to take action on them before they spiral out of control. Or it's very possible, if they're rising quickly enough, that even if you take speedy action on them now, it's still going to be a significant risk by the time you get it mitigated. And then finally, what we call strategic risks. Now, it's kind of a bundle that contains two things. One are the risks associated with strategic objectives. So again, if you remember in the risk scorecard, as we score each risk element, we score it against the strategic objective and its weighting. So we can effectively sum up the row to come up with a conclusion about the level of risk which exists across the risk register against that one strategic objective. So the highest risk strategic objectives are the parts of your strategy which are most at risk. And then secondly, most organizations want to know about what has been traditionally called a strategic risk. A strategic risk, of course, is a risk that has both the risk of something good happening as well as something bad. An example there is something like a new product introduction. That has a risk of substantially better revenue if the launch is successful, or financial issues if the new product is unsuccessful or comes to market late, and so forth. Now, what we've also learned is in that report, we need to separate those three types of risks distinctly. Why? Because they have different readers who are interested in each of them. They have a different drumbeat or reaction time that's required, and typically have a different accountability and financial support in order to get the mitigation in place and understood. So again, three types: elephants, comets, and strategic risks. The idea is to distinguish them clearly in the report and understand that month on month they will change based on the change in your strategic environment, the remedies that you have in place, and the other organizational pressures which impact any risk.